All right, let's get those curling irons warmed up because today
Yeah.
we're diving right into the world of hairstyling,
Mhm.
specifically
Oh.
getting you ready to crush that interview for your dream hairstylist job.
There's nothing like that salon energy or
So,
the excitement of a film set.
right.
But getting there takes prep, so let's get into it.
Okay, so to help guide us, we have some really fantastic resources from RoleCatcher.
Oh, yeah.
We have their career guide, which is full of industry insights, and their interview guide,
Yeah.
which tackles 9 of the most common questions you might face.
And what really makes RoleCatcher stand out is its AI that analyzes specific job descriptions and then helps tailor your resume and interview answers. It's like having a secret weapon.
Okay, so before we even get to those questions, I'm curious, what exactly does a hairstylist do every day?
It's more than just, cuts and styles.
Mm.
Think of the fast-paced entertainment world. Movies, TV shows, music videos. Hairstylists are the artists who work closely with directors and actors to bring characters to life.
So they're collaborating with the art director and translating a creative vision into some stunning hairstyles.
Exactly. It's this whirlwind of washing, drying, cutting, styling.
Yeah.
They even work with wigs and hairpieces, sometimes creating those from scratch. It's physically demanding, but incredibly rewarding when you see your work on screen.
Speaking of demanding, RoleCatcher's career guide does mention some pros and cons, like the creative freedom and flexibility of the job, but also the long hours.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for someone weighing those factors?
Well, it boils down to passion and fit.
Okay.
If you thrive on creativity, love collaborating, and can handle the hustle, the pros will likely outweigh the cons. This isn't a 9 to 5, it's a lifestyle.
You mentioned that RoleCatcher's AI is a game changer,
Oh, yeah.
especially when it comes to resumes. Tell me more about that.
Okay, so think of those online application systems. They scan resumes for keywords. RoleCatcher's AI helps to identify gaps in your resume compared to what the employer is looking for,
Right.
and then suggests improvements to get you noticed.
So it's like having a personal resume editor who understands exactly what each employer wants.
Right. But it goes beyond that with their Copilot AI for interview prep. Imagine this: tailoring your cover letter, practicing your responses to common questions,
Right.
and even getting AI feedback on your delivery.
That's incredible. Before we get into those interview questions, the career guide also talks about gaining experience. Any tips for someone just starting out?
Practice is everything. Offer to style friends and family, volunteer at local theaters, assist experienced stylists.
Yeah.
Build that portfolio. You never know where a connection might lead.
And for those who are already established, what about advancement opportunities?
The sky's the limit. You could move up to bigger productions, specialize in wigs or extensions, or even bridal styling, or open your own salon. Continuous learning is vital in this field.
So always be a student, right?
Absolutely.
Now let's get to the core of this deep dive, those interview questions. We're going to break down each of the 9 from RoleCatcher's interview guide. Let's start with, can you tell us about your experience working with different hair textures and types?
This one's all about showing your versatility. Interviewers want to know you can handle anything, from pin straight to tightly coiled curls.
So how should you approach this question?
Yeah.
What are they looking for?
They want specifics, not just, I've worked with all hair types.
Right.
Think about the different textures you've encountered. Curly, straight, thick, thin, chemically treated. Have examples ready that showcase your ability to adapt techniques for each.
What about potential follow-up questions? Should you prepare for anything specific?
Definitely. They might ask about your experience with a particular hair type relevant to the role, or they might say, tell me about a time you had to adjust your technique on the fly. Be ready to think on your feet.
Are there any pitfalls to avoid?
Yeah.
Like, what should you not say?
Don't just list hair types without elaborating. Talk about the specific challenges and how you overcame them. Passion and a desire to learn are key here.
That's a great point. Showing you're eager to work with diverse clients is essential. Okay, the next question in RoleCatcher's guide is, how do you keep up with current hair trends and techniques? What are your thoughts on this one?
This is where you show your dedication to the craft. The hair industry is constantly evolving, so staying current is vital. The interviewer wants to see that you're a lifelong learner, not stuck in the past.
So how can you showcase that? What makes a strong answer?
Be specific. Mention industry publications you read, social media accounts you follow, workshops you've taken, maybe even hair shows you've attended. Demonstrate your commitment to continuous improvement.
Any potential follow-up questions that come to mind? What might they ask to dig deeper?
They could ask about a specific trend that's caught your eye, or how you learned a new technique. Be prepared to discuss a recent innovation in the hair industry.
And what are some things to avoid saying? Any red flags?
Never say you don't keep up with trends. That's a major turnoff. It signals a lack of passion and professional curiosity. You want to come across as engaged and enthusiastic about the ever-changing world of hair.
Okay, moving on to question number 3. Can you walk us through your process for consulting with a new client? This one sounds like it's all about client interaction.
It is. This question digs into your communication and client management skills. Interviewers want to see if you have a structured approach that leads to happy, satisfied clients.
What would a strong answer look like?
Yeah.
How do you demonstrate that structured approach?
Think step by step. How do you gather information about their lifestyle, hair history, and preferences?
Okay.
What questions do you ask? Do you show them examples or offer suggestions? Paint a picture of a thoughtful consultation process.
Are there any potential follow-up questions you can anticipate?
They might ask about a time you had to adapt your consultation style for a particular client, or how you handled difficult requests. Be ready to showcase your flexibility and problem-solving skills.
And what should someone avoid saying?
Yeah.
Any instant deal breakers?
Don't say you don't have a process,
Right.
or that you just wing it. That screams unprofessional. A clear consultation framework shows you're organized and client-focused.
Okay, this next question seems like a tough one. How do you handle a client who is unhappy with their hairstyle? Talk about a high-pressure situation.
It definitely is. This question tests your problem-solving and conflict resolution skills. Can you stay calm, empathetic, and professional under pressure? That's what they want to see.
So how do you approach this quote? What's the best strategy?
Start by emphasizing your commitment to client satisfaction. Explain that you listen attentively to their concerns, ask clarifying questions to understand the issue, and then offer solutions to address their dissatisfaction.
What are some potential follow-up questions they might throw your way?
They could ask for a specific example of a time you successfully resolved a client complaint, or about your strategies for preventing dissatisfaction in the first place.
And what are some things to avoid saying? What would raise a red flag?
Never get defensive or dismissive. Even if you think the client is being unreasonable, acknowledge their feelings and show a genuine desire to find a solution.
All right, question number 5. How do you prioritize and manage your appointments and workload? This sounds like it's all about organization.
It absolutely is. Time management is crucial in this field, especially when you're juggling multiple clients and appointments. They want to know you can handle a busy schedule without dropping the ball.
So what would a compelling answer to this question entail? How do you demonstrate your organizational prowess?
Talk about the tools and systems you use to manage your schedule,
Okay.
whether it's booking software, a physical planner, or a combination of both. Explain how you prioritize tasks and ensure you deliver quality service to every client, even on a tight schedule.
Any potential follow-up questions to keep in mind?
They might ask about how you handle last-minute schedule changes, overlapping appointments, or even no-shows. Your ability to think on your feet and adapt is key here.
And what should you avoid saying at all costs?
Don't admit to struggling with time management or missing appointments. That's a major red flag. Emphasize your reliability and your ability to stay organized, even in a fast-paced environment.
Good point. Okay, let's move on to question number 6. How do you ensure that you are providing a safe and clean environment for your clients? This one seems pretty straightforward.
It is, but don't underestimate its importance. Hygiene and safety are paramount in the hair industry. They want to know you take these responsibilities seriously.
So what's the best way to approach this question? How do you really nail it?
Be specific about your protocols. Talk about disinfecting tools, wearing gloves, following sanitation guidelines. Show them you're knowledgeable about best practices and that you prioritize the health and well-being of your clients.
Are there any potential follow-up questions they might ask to dig a little deeper?
They could inquire about your knowledge of specific sanitation guidelines or your experience with handling potentially hazardous materials. Be prepared to demonstrate your awareness of industry standards.
And what are some things you definitely shouldn't say?
Never say that you don't have specific procedures in place. That's a huge no-no. You want to project an image of professionalism and a commitment to creating a safe and hygienic environment for everyone.
Absolutely. All right, question number 7 is a bit of a tricky one. How do you handle a client who has a specific vision for their hairstyle, but it may not be feasible or flattering for their hair type or face shape? How do you navigate that delicate situation?
This is where your communication and diplomacy skills really shine.
Yeah.
You need to balance respecting the client's vision with offering your professional expertise.
What would a strong answer to this question sound like? What's the best approach?
Start by acknowledging their vision and validating their ideas. Then, gently explain why the desired style might not be the best fit. Offer alternative suggestions that complement their features and hair type. It's about finding a compromise that works for both of you.
What are some potential follow-up questions to consider?
They might ask for a specific example of a time you had to redirect a client's vision. Or inquire about your process for helping clients discover flattering styles. Be prepared to share your experiences and insights.
And what are some things to avoid saying when tackling this question?
Don't be dismissive or try to force your own ideas on them. Remember, it's a collaboration.
Yeah.
The key is to find a solution that satisfies both their desires and your professional judgment.
Excellent advice. Okay, let's move on to question number 8. Can you tell us about a particularly challenging client you have worked with in the past and how you handled the situation? This one sounds a bit intimidating.
It can be, but it's also a fantastic opportunity to showcase your problem-solving and interpersonal skills. Behavioral questions like this give you a chance to share real-life experiences and demonstrate how you handle difficult situations.
What's the best way to approach this question?
Okay.
What should you keep in mind?
Choose a specific example that highlights your ability to remain calm, professional, and solution-oriented in a challenging situation. Explain the situation clearly, describe the steps you took to resolve it, and highlight the positive outcome.
Are there any potential follow-up questions they might ask to delve deeper?
They might inquire about the specific challenges you face,
Yeah.
the strategies you employ to de-escalate the situation, or the lessons you learned from the experience. Be prepared to provide details and insights.
What are some things you should absolutely avoid saying when answering this question? Any major red flags?
Don't badmouth the client or dwell on the negative aspects of the situation. Focus on the positive aspects of how you handled the situation and the skills you demonstrated. Remember, you're showcasing your professionalism and ability to learn from past experiences.
That's a great point. All right, we've reached the final question from RoleCatcher's Guide. How do you approach continuing education and professional development in the hair industry? This one seems like it's all about passion and a desire to grow.
It absolutely is. The hair industry is constantly evolving, so showing a commitment to continuous learning is crucial. This question gives you a chance to express your enthusiasm for your craft and your desire to stay ahead of the curve.
What's the key to answering this question effectively? What makes a strong answer?
Enthusiasm. Talk about any continuing education you've pursued, like advanced training courses, industry events, networking groups. Highlight your passion for learning new techniques and staying up to date with the latest trends. Show them you're invested in your professional growth and the future of the industry.
Any potential follow-up questions they might ask to explore this further?
They might inquire about specific courses you've taken,
Okay.
or ask you to describe a recent development in the hair industry that you're excited about. Be prepared to share your knowledge and enthusiasm.
And finally, what are some things to avoid saying when answering this question?
Right.
Any red flags?
Don't say that you don't prioritize continuing education. That sends the wrong message. They're looking for someone who is invested in their professional growth and the future of the industry.
That's excellent advice. Now, we've covered all 9 questions from the RoleCatcher Interview Guide, but there's one more thing I want to touch on.
What's that?
It's the importance of asking questions at the end of the interview.
Yeah. Asking some thoughtful questions shows that you're engaged and that you're really interested in the position and the salon.
It's a two-way street. The interview is a chance for both sides to see if it's a good fit. What are some good questions that someone could ask in a hairstylist interview?
Well, you could ask about the salon's culture, the team dynamic, or opportunities for professional development. Maybe even inquire about their clientele or the types of services they specialize in.
I like that. It shows you've done your research and you're really thinking about your future within that specific salon. It's not just about the questions themselves, is it?
Definitely not. Your tone and body language speak volumes too. Keep that energy and enthusiasm you showed during the interview. It makes a big difference.
No slumping in the chair or sounding bored, even if you've been answering questions for an hour.
Exactly. Stay engaged, make eye contact, and let your genuine interests shine.
Okay, we've covered so much today, from the life of a hairstylist to those important interview questions. Speaking of RoleCatcher, we have to mention their AI-powered tools again.
Yes. Remember, RoleCatcher can help you personalize your resume to specific job descriptions and give you feedback on your interview responses. It's like having a coach in your pocket.
It's such a great resource for anyone who's prepping for a hairstylist interview. Okay, let's get back into those interview questions. We've done 6 so far from RoleCatcher's interview guide. Let's move on to number 7. How do you handle a client who has a specific vision for their hairstyle, but it may not be feasible or flattering for their hair type or face shape?
This one is all about managing expectations and respecting the client's desires. It takes honesty and diplomacy.
So how would you recommend someone approach this? What are the key points to hit?
Well, first, acknowledge their vision and let them know that you heard them. Then gently explain, maybe even using visuals like photos or diagrams, why that specific style may not be the best fit.
Oh, I love that visual aid idea. It really makes the explanation clear for the client.
Right. And then, this is the important part, offer alternative suggestions that would complement their features and hair type. You're trying to find a solution that works for both of you.
What are some potential follow-up questions they might ask to see how you think on your feet?
They might ask about a time you had to redirect a client's vision, or maybe ask you to describe your process for helping clients find styles that would flatter them. Be ready to share those insights.
Okay, and are there any phrases or approaches that you would say to avoid answering this question?
Definitely. Don't dismiss their vision or try to force your own ideas.
Right.
The goal is to work together and compromise. You want to come across as a partner, not a dictator.
All right, let's move on to number 8. Can you tell us about a particularly challenging client you have worked with in the past and how you handled the situation? This one always makes people a bit nervous.
It's understandable. No one wants to talk about difficult situations, but this is a chance to show how you can problem solve and your professionalism.
What's the best way to answer this question without sounding negative or dwelling on the conflict?
Choose an example that really highlights your ability to stay calm, listen, and find a resolution. Focus on the solution, not the problem and what you learned.
What are some potential follow-up questions that they might ask to see how you reflect on your actions?
They might ask about the specific challenges you faced, the strategies you used to de-escalate the situation, or what you would have done differently. Be honest and show a willingness to learn.
Just to reiterate, what are some things to avoid saying when you are talking about a challenging client?
Never badmouth the client or dwell on the negative aspects of the situation. Keep it positive, focus on your actions, and highlight your skills.
Okay, we've made it to the last question in RoleCatcher's interview guide. How do you approach continuing education and professional development in the hair industry? This feels like a time to show your passion and your dedication.
Absolutely. The industry is changing all the time, so being willing to learn new things is essential. This is your chance to show your commitment to staying current and developing those skills.
What are some key points to emphasize when answering?
Enthusiasm. Talk about those courses you've taken, workshops you've attended, industry events you've been to, even books that you've read. Show them that you're proactive and you want to expand your knowledge.
What are some follow-up questions they might ask to gauge your interests and ambitions?
They might ask about your favorite areas of study, specific techniques you want to learn, or even your long-term career goals.
Okay, and are there any phrases or sentiments to avoid when you're talking about continuing education?
Never say that you don't see the need for more training or that you are an expert already. That shows a lack of humility and a closed mindset. The best stylists are always learning and evolving.
That's true. It's all about embracing the journey of growth and exploration. Now we've covered all 9 questions from RoleCatcher's interview guide. But there's one more crucial element to a successful interview.
I bet you're talking about those final questions you can ask the interviewer.
You got it. It's your chance to get information, show your engagement, and see if the salon is a good fit for you.
It's a great opportunity. It leaves a lasting impression. What are some good questions someone could ask in a hairstylist interview?
You could ask about the salon's culture, the values, their commitment to professional development, or their approach to client service.
Those are great. You could also ask about opportunities for growth, their clientele, or projects that you might be involved in.
Asking about the team dynamic is always good. You want to make sure that you would fit into that environment.
Absolutely. And don't forget about practical questions, things like scheduling, benefits, and commission structure. Those are important too.
Just like with answering questions, it's not just about what you ask, right?
Yeah.
It's about how you ask it.
You're right. Your tone of voice, your body language, and the curiosity that you're showing will make a big difference.
Maintain that energy and enthusiasm you showed throughout the interview. Let them know you're really interested and excited about this opportunity.
And don't be afraid to take a moment to think before you respond. You know, a thoughtful question is always better than a rushed one.
Okay, we've covered a lot today, from the basics of hairstyling to how to answer those tough interview questions. But before we finish up, I want to talk about something that we haven't discussed yet.
What's that?
Confidence.
Ah, yes. Confidence is key in any interview, but especially a creative one like hairstyling. It's about believing in your skills and showcasing your personality.
Exactly. But how can someone boost their confidence if they're nervous? What advice would you give?
Preparation. The more you practice, the more you research the salon and familiarize yourself with the material, the more confident you'll feel.
So using resources like RoleCatcher's AI can really help.
Absolutely. It's not just about memorizing the answers or having a good resume. It's about understanding those concepts, developing your own insights, and being able to talk about your thoughts clearly.
So it's about knowing what you know and letting your true self come through.
Exactly. Remember, you're being interviewed because they see something in you. They are interested in your skills and your experience. Let your personality and passion shine through.
That's great advice. Now, we've gone over interview prep, but I want to talk about RoleCatcher again.
Okay.
We've mentioned their great resources a lot, but how can someone use them to prepare for their interview?
It's simple. You can create a free account on their website and explore the career guide and interview guide we've been discussing.
So you can see the platform and what it can do for you.
Exactly. If you want to see the full power of their AI, you can subscribe to the Copilot AI package. This gives you access to all the personalized guidance, resume tailoring, interview practice, and feedback.
Wow, it's like having a personal interview coach.
That's a great way to put it. RoleCatcher can really make a difference in your interview prep, giving you what you need to stand out.
And the best part is you can try it out for free.
No pressure.
All right, before we finish this deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with one last question to think about.
Oh, I love a good question. What is it?
Think about the future of hairstyling.
Okay.
What area excites you the most, and how do you see yourself pursuing it in the future?
That's such a good question. It makes you think past the interview and about your long-term goals.
Exactly. Are you interested in wig making, the detail of hair extensions?
Yeah.
Or maybe being creative with editorial shoots or fashion shows?
Yeah.
It's about using all this knowledge and turning it into a vision for your path in the industry.
So for everyone getting ready to go to that hairstylist interview, remember, preparation, confidence, and a clear vision are so important.
I hope this deep dive gave you the tools and the motivation to go out and shine. Good luck.
It really is about finding what you're passionate about and what you're good at. Sometimes that changes throughout your career as you learn and grow.
Yeah, that's so true. It's important to remember that a career is a journey, not a destination.
Right.
Speaking of journeys, we've gone on quite a deep dive today, talking about hairstyling.
We have. We've covered what the job really looks like, the importance of learning, and even those scary interview questions. I hope everyone listening is feeling prepared and confident now.
Absolutely. We've walked through all 9 questions from RoleCatcher's interview guide and how to approach them. We've talked about RoleCatcher's resources and especially their AI tools that could really help you prepare.
I'm a big believer in using every resource you have, and RoleCatcher can really help you get that dream job.
Yeah.
It takes out the guesswork and helps you be the best you.
Yeah. But even with all the prep in the world, there's one thing that can make or break you.
Oh, what's that?
Confidence.
Oh, yes. Confidence is important in any interview, but especially in a creative field like hairstyling. You have to believe in yourself and your skills.
So true. But confidence is hard when you're nervous or unsure of yourself. What advice would you give on how to boost confidence before an interview?
Remember what you're worth. You've made it this far, so they obviously see something in you. Remember your accomplishments and all your skills.
I love that. It's all about knowing what you've achieved and trusting your abilities.
Exactly. And let your personality come through. Let them see your passion and your enthusiasm. Being yourself can make you stand out.
Yeah, and preparation is key. Research the salon, practice your answers, and just visualize yourself succeeding. The more you do that, the more confident you'll be.
Don't forget to take care of yourself, too. Sleep well, eat a good meal, and do something you enjoy before the interview. That can help you be calm and confident.
Okay, so for all of our listeners getting ready to go to that interview, remember, you got this. You have the skills, the passion, and the drive. Believe in yourself, show off your talents, and be enthusiastic.
We are cheering you on. And don't forget that RoleCatcher can support you with their AI-powered tools. Go out there and rock that interview.
That's the end of another deep dive. We hope this was helpful, inspiring, and maybe empowering, too.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and follow those hairstyling dreams.